Take a look at this guy. He's from China, and he wants to be in a relationship with a Western girl. Do you think that's possible? What do you think? Take a look at this woman. She's from India, and she wants to start dating a Western guy. Do you think that's possible? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, this kind of stuff happens. I mean, maybe it's not super common, but it happens. It happens. I know people from different countries who are dating each other, okay? Indians, Western Europeans, South American, okay? It's all possible, okay? For example, a girl I used to go to school with, she's a very good-looking Canadian girl, and she is dating a Chinese guy, okay? I've met some European girls, very good-looking European girls who are dating Indian guys, okay? I've met Indian girls who are dating Canadians, South Americans who are dating Canadians, Europeans. Okay, look, so there really are no boundaries. There are always examples you can find, and it's entirely possible. So if you want to do this, it's possible. Don't think it's not possible. Sometimes there are stereotypes that exist, like Western girls don't like Chinese men. Western girls don't like Indian guys. I mean, yes, there are stereotypes about lots of things in life. Chinese people are bad drivers. That's a stereotype here in Canada. Or Asian, generally people say Asians are bad drivers. That's a stereotype. Is that true? Well, I mean, I've seen lots of people, Chinese people, other Asians driving here in Calgary. They're fine. They're fine drivers. Okay, so a lot of times stereotypes are just wrong. So absolutely you can do this if you want. Now the question is, how do you do it? How do you do it? First you have the desire to do it, then you need to take some steps. But what do you do? Well, when you date someone, you spend time with them. I mean, that's what dating is, right? Dating is spending time with them. You spend time with them before you start dating. You spend time with them while you're dating, hopefully forever or until you break up. Hopefully that doesn't happen, right? But you spend time with them. So really the question is, how can you spend time with Western people? If you want to date a Western person, how do you spend time with them? Well, I mean, that's very hard to answer. It depends on your situation in life. For some people, it might be really easy. For other people, it might be really hard to spend time with Western people. I mean, if you're already living in a Western country, that helps a lot. Some people go to bars to meet people. Some people will go to like some sort of a social event, or they might meet some classmates at school if they're a student. They might find a church to go to and meet people there. Okay, so there's lots of ways to meet Western people. Now, if you're not in a Western country, you can actually meet people online. I've met Canadian women who have met their husbands online. Okay, they meet a guy they like and they fly over to Africa or to Europe or to, okay, I mean, and the same, with guys sometimes meet Colombian girls or Brazilian girls, or, everything is possible. So the internet especially has made everything possible. So even if you're not with them physically, you can still spend time with them chatting online on different dating sites. Okay, so that's how you spend time with them. So then after you spend time with them, after you've sort of found someone that you like, then the question is, how do you actually start dating? How do you do this? How do you actually become officially in a relationship with someone? Well, the first step is before you start dating, you have to flirt with them. Okay, you can't just go up to someone that you find attractive and say, hey, would you like to start dating? I mean, you could do that, try it, see what happens, but it's probably not going to go that well. So first you have to flirt with them to see if they like you, right? Flirting is when people, they spend time with each other, they talk to each other, they try to show the other person that they like them. Okay, so how would you do that? Well, you could ask them this. Would you like to go on a walk? Would you like to go out for supper? Supper means dinner here in Canada. Okay, would you like to come over for a movie tonight? Okay, come over, that means come to my house. You're inviting the person to your house for a movie tonight. Then, at some point, you're going to have a conversation, or you're going to ask them a question. Would you like to be in a relationship? Would you like to be in a relationship? At some point, this conversation is going to happen. Now, in our culture, in Western culture, usually it's the man's job to initiate that conversation, or to ask this question. Would you like to be in a relationship? Now, the woman could do that too, right? I mean, we live in a free society. She can say whatever she wants. She can do whatever she wants. But usually the expectation is that the man will ask this question. Okay, so if you're from, China, India, Brazil, anywhere, and you're a man in Canada or the US, it's probably your responsibility to ask this question, right? If you're a woman in these countries, you should just wait till the guy asks. At least give it some time, okay? So what happens if he's not asking? Then what do you do? If you're a woman, what do you do? Well, you can give him signals that you like him, signals that, you're interested in him. Maybe he's really shy. Maybe he's not very confident. Maybe he's afraid that you're going to reject him if he asks you. So you need to try to let him know that you're going to say yes when he asks you, okay? I don't know. I mean, if it doesn't happen, just be patient. Be patient. Sometimes these things, it's going to happen eventually. Just relax. Take some deep breaths. It might take a few weeks. It might take a few months, but it's going to happen, okay? So this is basically the timeline of how it's going to work. First, you're going to flirt with them for a period of time. Like I said, maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months. There's going to be a period where you're not officially in a relationship, but you're spending time with them. Then at some point, you're going to talk. And then from that point on, you're going to be dating. He's going to ask you, would you like to be in a relationship? Yes. Okay. Then you're dating. We say that's official. You're official. Before you were unofficial, but now you are official. Everybody knows about it. You're probably telling your friends, your family. Maybe before you were really secretive about it. Okay. So now you're in an official dating relationship. So what should you do while you're dating? I mean, what does that mean practically? If you're dating someone, a Western person, I mean, what do you do? Well, that really depends on your personality. It depends on what you're interested in. It could be different in a lot of situations, okay? Here are some ideas. You could go to the movies, you might go on walks, you might have conversations with the person, you might cuddle on the couch. Cuddle means to hold each other, to hug each other. You might make out. Make out means to kiss for a while. Okay, so you might make out on the couch. You might go stargazing. Stargazing is when you go outside, you lie on your back and you watch the stars. You gaze at the stars and you probably have a nice conversation while you're doing that. You might travel with the other person. You might go on a fun trip. I don't know. There's just so many different things you could do. Now, one thing that sometimes people do in our culture, if their relationship is getting pretty serious, very often they move in together. Okay, so they'll say, we want to live together. Then they will move, maybe she's going to move to his apartment, he might move into her apartment, they live together. That happens quite a bit in Western culture. Now, unfortunately, fighting also happens in Western culture. How about in your culture? Do dating couples fight with each other? Fighting means arguing, fighting with words, not physical violence. Okay, that's really bad. That's called domestic abuse. That's a crime. You can't slap the other person. You can't punch them. You can't. Maybe in your culture you can, but in Western society, that's really bad. You're probably going to go to jail if you do that. Okay, so don't do that. But you're allowed to argue. You're allowed to argue. So, I mean, this happens a lot when people are dating. I don't know. I hope this doesn't happen to you. I hope you have a very peaceful relationship. Try not to fight with each other, and it will make the world a better place. But okay, so here's some things that you could say. Okay, what does being in a relationship mean to you? If you really want to go deeper in your relationship, you could have these conversations, especially if you're coming from another culture, okay? Because there can be a lot of fighting happens because of different expectations, right? Maybe you're from China or India and you're dating someone from, a Western culture. There's going to be some big cultural differences, right? So then you can ask these questions, right? What does being in a relationship mean to you? What does that mean? If we're dating, what does that mean to you? What are your expectations? Okay, asking these kinds of questions really helps you understand what the relationship is going to be like, what the expectations are. Okay, that's very important to go deeper in your relationship. A lot of relationships are just sort of superficial. You don't want a superficial relationship, right? You want a really deep relationship where you love each other. Well, at least I hope so. Maybe you don't. I don't know. But hey, I want to know, what do dating couples do in your culture? What do they do in your culture? Do they go to movies? Do they cuddle on the couch? Do they go stargazing? Let me know what they do in your culture, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.